What's up, guys? Gordon Briley here with PhenoX Fitness and Nutrition, and I wanted to give you guys some measurements so you have an idea whether this will work on your rack or not. So the first measurement that you're going to need to know is the width from outside of your upright to, your J-hook. So measure the outside to outside, and as long as that is 48 inches or less, then that will work as far as that goes. There's only a couple other measurements that could possibly matter, and that's what I'm going to go over the next ones. But 48 inches is going to be very tight, but it's also going to be very secure in that way. So as long as it's 48 or less, it should work beautifully. Now the next measurement, which is just as important, is what I call the swing measurement. So how much room are you going to need this way as far as the barbell goes or the weight plate? So if the weight plates, if you get a bunch of weights stacked out here, so all the way out here, you got a bunch of 45s on here, you're going to need at least a 30-inch swing. So if you measure from the front of your upright to back in this direction, to the back towards the rack, you're going to need at least 30 inches. So somewhere around there, that actually probably gives it an inch or two of clearance, but 30 inches or more. So one thing is, if the weights hit with the weight plate post, you can still use the barbell, which works just as good. I actually don't use the weight plate post, so usually the barbell works just as good. Some people like to use both. I like to use both in some situations, but if you have to, then you can just use the barbell. No big deal at all. It really feels the same way. So the other measurement and why this matters is if you measure from the outside of the weight to the outside of the weight and you get a bunch of weights on here, it's going to hit that back upright. I think it's 47 inches from the 45s are standard size. So the outside to outside is 47 inches. So if you have a really short rack and you think that you're going to be able to use just the weight plate post, that's not going to work necessarily if it's less than 47 inches to the inside to inside, because these plates themselves could possibly hit the back upright. Hopefully that makes sense. So these are kind of really the only measurements that you're really going to have to think about. The other thing would be possible obstructions up top. So if you have bars that cross over, you can use the barbell. That's not going to be an issue. But if you have something up top and you're using these weight plate posts, when you press out, they rise up. So you would have to think about that. Is there going to be any obstacles that are going to hit up top? So you can see they rise up. That's part of what makes it work so well, is the fact they're going up right away, fighting gravity. But they could be a slight obstacle if you have something. Overall, I think the height of mine is 79 inches to the bottom of that. So if, again, this would depend on how long or how close you are to the rack itself. So if you have really long legs, you're going to press slightly higher, but I'm 6'1", with the rack pretty close. I like to really push away. So 79 inches, it's still clearing there. So as long as your rack, any obstacles that would go crosswise that might hit, with a lot of racks, you can actually move those crossbars, so that might not be an issue whatsoever. But I just wanted to give some of those measurements so you can measure your rack specifically and know that it will likely work. Every rack's a little bit different, so potential obstacles that might be in the way, everyone's a little bit different. So in general, you can see this setup and try to imagine, if there's going to be things that are, again, those potential obstacles. So hopefully that helps you guys, and you can decide whether or not this is going to be a good fit for you. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.